Hey, welcome to Neversink Farm. We're in the prop house. And one thing I get questions about is germination. So I just want to quickly talk about how to get the best germination because it's something we all want. If you're doing a 128 tray and you're doing one seed per cell, it'd be great to get 100%, if not 99% germination, so you don't waste space, you don't waste seed. Um, so germination is dependent on basically two things: temperature and moisture. Now there's, some seeds need to be, have freezing temperatures. Some need a little bit of sunlight, but those are rare, right? So we're just going to talk generally about 99% of the seeds, which just need uh, the right temperature and moisture. So, like whatever tray you're using, whether it's a mini winnie, a wind strip, a paper pot, microgreen tray, none of that matters. The tray is not going to influence whether something germinates or not, insofar as whether the tray drains well, so you got to water more, um, or holds water, so it's going to be too much moisture. But essentially, the tray has nothing to do with it. While a wind strip tray is certainly great, and you know, uh, make sure you can never overwater, and reduces disease and transplant shock, it's not going to improve germination. That's just not something it can do, because it's really just temperature and moisture. So you don't want things too waterlogged and the seed's going to rot, but you also can't have it dry out. So it's very important to keep things well watered when they're germinating, okay? But you don't want to keep it, logged in water. So a great thing to use is a little dome, okay? What that does is it keeps the surface of everything moist without everything being too waterlogged. As soon as it clears up, you want to make sure there's a bit more water in there. If you're going to bottom water, just make sure you keep a little bit of water on the bottom so you're not creating, a swamp, right? So it's just the right amount of water. You can't let it dry out and can't be a swamp. Okay, so this is a really good way to do it because this is going to keep it moist. Because if you water just in the morning and then the sun dries out the surface of your tray and the seed dries out, you're going to stop germination. So this is a really good method for that. Another thing to do is to use maybe a fog it mister, right? Which is just a mister, a watering wand that has a little fogging to it. So you're just constantly keeping the surface moist for that seed to germinate. And that's what a humidity chamber is about. It's really called a germination chamber, something called hot box. And that controls moisture and heat. And it does go through steam. And that's one way to do it. But when you're doing it without one, you're really doing the same thing. You're just managing your temperature and your moisture. So if you get your moisture right, then you just got to worry about temperature. And you just look on your seed packet for the range. Most are in the range of like 70 to 80 degrees, most vegetables, somewhere around there. And you can use a heating pad. You can use the temperature inside your house. It can be, your prop house is kept to that temperature, and some germinate at a lower temperature, like maybe spinach or lettuce. And those I just keep, out of the sun and keep the temperature a little bit cooler. So, something like tomato, nice, likes a lot of heat, maybe 78 degrees, 80 degrees. And you're going to, so if you can control that temperature and that moisture, then you're going to be fine. You're going to get great germination. You want to just keep adjusting that until you get it right. Temperature is easy because you can check the temperature. You can use a soil thermometer, whatever, to make sure, or an air thermometer if the air is that temperature. But if you're using a heating pad, it's going to be a thermometer inside the soil. That's easy to check. Moisture is just about not swampy and not too dry. You don't want a crust on top. right? So if you're not using a germination chamber, then you want to cover the seeds with soil. And the only reason we really do that is so that you get even moisture, because the soil is going to hold on to moisture. All right, so I hope that helps. I hope your germination is better for it. Until next time.